Good morning, and thank you for joining us on our continuing coverage on WUSA 9 Plus. It is straight up 7 a.m., the second hour, and the round of our winter weather is moving into our area. Some of you might be seeing a little break from the rain and sleet at the moment, but if you are dry, you won't be soon because the system is slowly moving east, and some of us could even see some snow over the next few hours. We have been warning you all week to try to travel early for the holidays. But if you are still heading out today, please be warned, there are nearly 3,000 flight cancellations across the U.S. today, and driving conditions could be dangerous depending on where you're going. Michelle Logan is tracking the roads for us on this morning and watching for any trouble spots. But let's start with meteorologist Chester Lampkin. Chester, a lot happening with this storm. It's just not like one thing, right? And it's depending on where you are right now as well.
Right. Multiple elements here that we're watching with this storm as we are in weather watch alert. We're in weather watch alert because of the changing weather conditions that are coming to the area over the next few hours. So let me get out of the way and kind of break down the radar for you. You can actually see it very well here across the radar. It's right on top of the DMV, and this is the leading edge of the rain with the cold front on the back end of it. Not a ton, but there is some flurries and light snow activity at the very back edge there on the radar. You can kind of see it there. So we're going to continue to watch and track this for you over the next 30 minutes or so, maybe even to the 8 o'clock hour. So stay with us here on the live stream. So again, live radar here, 7:01. You could see some light snow getting in towards Woodstock, perhaps Stephen City, and over to the Winchester area. Farther east, it is still primarily rain, but we will see some snowflakes mix in from time to time around Hagerstown and down through Leesburg and right on through the Warrenton area early this morning. This whole line here is just moving off to the east, but there's a slight northerly jog to these showers as they move through. And again, on the back side of this out here, it is below freezing. So as a result, anything that is falling from the sky is going to be light snow. A little closer into Metro Washington, you're stepping out the door to mostly light rain showers at this time, which is good news here as you are starting your morning commute. If you do have to work today, you're one of the ones who are out there on the roads early this morning, you're going to run into light rain, but it is above freezing. No worried about freezing roads or ice or snow just yet here as we start the day. Rain's a little bit heavier farther west up to upper Loudoun County, so perhaps out towards Purcellville, maybe out towards the Aldie area, west of Dulles, west of Leesburg, west of South Riding at this time, and just west of Warrenton. If you're doing that drive on 66, it's okay for now, but I do expect it to switch over to more of a snowy, icy mix shortly. Some light rain in around Olney as well. And we continue to watch these showers here early this morning right on top of D.C. And a little bit closer in, you can kind of see what's happening here radar-wise. We are tracking some showery weather in around parts of D.C. Early this morning. So let me move the radar over back into D.C. here. I've got a little bit of a lag here on my iPad. But the idea is that, yeah, we're dealing with showers right on top of Metro Washington right now. You can see that shower activity right on top of D.C. And again, it's very light for the most part, but it has made it inside the Beltway in most areas. So how does it shake out the rest of this day? We'll start to see that snow mix in from time to time next few hours through 9 o'clock. By 10, it's pretty much getting shut down, and by 11, it's all done. We've got cold weather over the next several hours here across the region. Look at these futurecast temperatures dropping and that burst of light snow. It's very short, too. It's not going to be lingering all that long. By afternoon, we're in the 20s and teens. So we'll come back and break it down more. Michaela Lucero joins me as well. But right now, we're going to send over to Michelle, who's got the latest on our traffic at this 7 o'clock hour.
Yeah, Chester, you and I have been watching this VDOT camera all morning long. So this is a live look of I-95 in Virginia, right near 234 in Dumfries. We've been seeing rain and snow here for a couple of hours. This is a live look. Looks like we're just seeing some light snowfall at this time. So here's that live camera. No huge delays on 95 at this time, but we are still tracking a jam outbound on the 14th Street Bridge. Between DC and Arlington, we have a crash on the bridge with just the right lane blocked, but some delays still linger back to the 3rd Street Tunnel. Let's go to Howard County, Maryland. A couple of trouble spots. First, south of Clarksville, Route 108 is closed in both directions past Hall Shop Road because of downed wires. Now, we also had some wires come down here up in Woodbine. So Route 94 Woodbine Road closed between I-70 and Gillis Falls Road because wires came down there at Newport Road. Let's get to your Virginia drive times. Looking good headed to the Beltway. Northbound 95, Fredericksburg up to the Springfield interchange, 37 minutes. Al?
Michelle, of course, will keep us all posted, watching for any trouble spots on the roads as this storm system moves through. But to give us a first-hand look at the roads, Abby Larico has been in Eco 9 this morning, and she has also given us some tips on how to deal with a common issue when it comes to driving in the cold. Abby, first, what's going on where you are?
Hey, Allison, good morning. So we have been on the roads since about 4 o'clock this morning. Right now we're on the Greenway headed toward Leesburg, Virginia. And actually the windshield wipers are getting a bit of a break right now because this is the lightest precipitation we've seen all morning. We've gone through patches of fog. We've seen a little heavier downpours. In most places we are, there's at least a little bit of that water on the roads causing possible slickness later on today, as we know that cold front is coming through. Now, of course, the roads are one thing we're gonna have to worry about, but we're also talking about that heavy freeze on parked cars. You might be parking your car somewhere this morning, everything looks fine, you go out to it later today and you can't get the door open. Best case scenario is get outside right now and get ahead of it. Maybe grab some lock lube or some dry lube. Northern Virginia Community College automotive instructor Laura Garcia explains how to use it.
It's very easy to do. Anybody can do it. So you just want to use your nozzle and spray inside your latch areas, and you can use as much as you like. Then you're going to want to close and open your door. And then you also want to lubricate your handle. So if you pull your handle out, you can spray a little bit there, open and close your handle a few times. And if you have a key cylinder external to your vehicle, you can actually go ahead and spray a little bit of lube there and then use your key to activate and actuate the lock to make sure that the lubrication spreads everywhere.
Now, if you go outside and find that your door is frozen shut, just remember not to try to use hot water or anything like that on the locks. It can actually make the situation worse. Instead, use real heat from a hairdryer if you have access to it, or some de-icing spray. Another reminder, we were talking about this, batteries often die in cold temperatures like this, so get ahead of that one as well by checking for any corrosion or any debris, leaves and such piling up underneath your hood, and try to park your car somewhere where it will at least be sheltered from the wind as temperatures drop later today. Allison?
Great advice as always. Abby, thank you so much, and we'll check back in with Abby in a bit. So if you're still planning to hit the road today, there are some things that you should check before you leave. First, pack the essentials: an external battery or solar charger to charge your phone in case of an emergency, extra food, blankets, and clothes if you get stuck somewhere. Also, bring a shovel, and you know what? Kitty litter doesn't hurt either.
You can lay the kitty litter down so the tires have something to grab onto as you're trying to get yourself out of a rut.
Plus, make sure your wipers are working and that you have enough wiper fluid.
Right now, it should be the winter solution, so that's good for temperatures of up to 20 below zero.
We have all these tips and more right now on our website, WUSA9.com. Well, we're also expecting some strong winds with this storm that could cause power outages, and we just checked on those numbers at the top of the hour, and at 7 o'clock right now, Pepco says 1,800 customers are impacted by these outages. Shenandoah Valley Electric has nearly 900 customers without power. Dominion Electric has around 60 problems listed right now. We'll keep checking back on those outage maps throughout the morning for you. Matt Gregory, meantime, joins us live this morning from Northern Virginia, the utility Dominion Energy, to see how they are preparing for the weather. Matt, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Allison. I mean, at this point, we've seen kind of a little bit of downpour, a little bit of drizzle. We're back to kind of drizzle right now, but you can also hear the hum of the truck starting up here at Dominion Energy as they start to get ready for, you know, any potential things that could be caused by the weather, especially when we have that wind that's going to be coming through, coming up around noon or so. So let's take a look at sort of what Dominion says they're doing to prepare. Now, the number one thing you might not think about, they say, when it comes to power outages is just how it's affected by strong winds. And when you have gusts of 20, 30, 40 miles an hour, it can knock knock trees over, knock power lines over. So that's one thing they're accounting for. Their staffing, they say, is pretty decent for what they're going to be planning to do today. They have people in position all across Virginia and North Carolina to make sure they're in strategic areas should the power outages start. And Dominion Energy says to be prepared if you're one of their customers, remember to download their app. It's the easiest way to report power outages. But let's say you do experience a power outage, and as the temperatures are starting to drop down below freezing, here are some of the tips we have to keep you warm.
First, close off rooms so you don't waste heat. Closing curtains or blinds actually keeps heat in, and towels or rags shoved under doors can do the same. Now, here's the obvious one: wear several loose clothing layers and eat food. It'll give your body energy.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things, you know, we've been here all day kind of monitoring these conditions in the Springfield, Virginia area, and you can kind of see the difference, right, between Springfield and parts west and north, where you might have seen heavy rain, maybe even some potential for snow or ice. At this point, we're just seeing a little bit of drizzle, nothing really in the spectrum of any sort of treacherous weather yet, but we'll see what happens and develops throughout the rest of the morning. In Springfield, Virginia, I'm Matt Gregory. Back to you.
All right. Sounds like a plan, Matt. Thank you so much. Let's get back over to meteorologist Chester Lampkin and also Michaela Lucero, who they've both been keeping a close eye on the radar.
Yeah, we're going to have Michaela coming up in a moment. She's going to break down our wind chill advisory and our high wind warnings and wind advisories for the area. But I can tell you the results of the wind will be those dangerously cold wind chills. This is just a preview of what's to come later this evening. Temperatures will feel like they're in the 20s for the afternoon hours and teens by the early evening, and in fact late evening we'll have single-digit wind chills here in Washington, D.C. It is going to be brutally cold across the area. Some of the coldest air we've seen in several winters, 4 to 5 winters. It hasn't been this chilly. And the fact that it's happening in the middle of the day, too, very significant, because a lot of folks will step out the door with maybe a lighter jacket this morning and just the rain gear, and by afternoon, evening, they're not going to be dressed appropriately for the cold that's coming. This rain doesn't help right now. It's a chilly rain out there. On the back edge of that rain, a little bit of snow is mixing in on the tops of the Blue Ridge, which is right along this area here. Certainly snowing on those mountain tops, and probably getting some light snow from time to time in parts of Frederick and Washington County. Certainly western Loudoun County and upper parts of Fauquier County dealing with a little bit of snow, but otherwise it is mainly rain down through Culpeper. And farther south, Fredericksburg at the very bottom of your screen. You can barely see it, but it is a light rain there as well. In the metro, it is off and on light rain. It's not terribly heavy, but it's going to slicken up the roads, and it's going to add to the puddles that are out there. We're going to watch for a flash freeze a little bit later this morning, so that's something we need to be mindful of on the roads here for mid to late morning and early during the afternoon hours. Any standing water could freeze with temperatures dropping so quickly across the area. No winter weather advisory for D.C. or the metro, but there is one out west. If you're driving west on 68 or up I-70, you'll run into those snowy parts of, you'll see some blowing snow occasionally here this morning through the afternoon. So the drive out there, not exactly the best drive here through the day. We'll pick up a couple inches. So again, light showers through the next couple of hours. Here's 8 o'clock, still showering in the metro, still above freezing, but to the Shenandoah, we're below freezing. Hagerstown, some snow will mix in. Thurmont may get a quick half inch to an inch. Frederick, Leesburg, seeing some light snow at 9 o'clock. Still in the 40s at the top of the 9 o'clock hour, but by the end of the 9 o'clock hour, we're down to the 30s to 20s across the metro. And by 11 o'clock, any lingering rain and snow showers, yeah, it boot scoots out of here. So we're not going to worry about precipitation once we get to midday this afternoon. At this point, we'll worry about the flash freeze, the dangerous wind chills, the gusty winds, and those super cold temperatures. Teens by this evening, single digits off to the west. Many spots overnight tonight will be down into the single digits, even below zero in places like Romney and Cumberland, according to our latest modeling. Model has us at 8. I have us dropping to 11, 8, 11. Both cold, doesn't matter. Wind chills will be below zero tomorrow morning, and highs tomorrow will only be in the 20s. Good news is it is going to be a sunny day on Saturday, or mostly sunny skies, and quite bright and sunny on Sunday as well. Temperatures staying below freezing, though. We barely get to 30 on Sunday afternoon. Okay, so again, Michaela is tracking the wind advisory that we have for Metro Washington and much of the area. and our wind chill advisory. What's the latest in both of those departments?
Hey, Chester, the latest information we've received from the National Weather Service shows that we've got a high wind warning for the areas that you see here in orange, and we've got a wind advisory for the counties you see here in yellow. We could be seeing wind gusts out west close to 70 miles an hour and wind gusts near the district up to about 55 miles an hour. Now, when we talk about wind chill, we've got a wind chill advisory for everybody in purple, including the district, and a wind chill warning as you head further out towards the west. Now, these are both in effect through the weekend, so we're going to be seeing these very chilly temps for our entire area heading into not only Christmas Eve but Christmas Day for that warning. So let's talk about how cold we're going to be getting as far as wind chills go. We're starting at 8 a.m. You can see our timestamp there in the corner. Feels like 34 in the district. As we move to about 9 o'clock, notice these temperatures start to fall, and then you'll see a rapid decline in that temperature. We're going from 14 down to 7 degrees. That's what it feels like outside. It's going to be feeling very, very chilly out there, but check it out west. Feels like negative 17 for Petersburg, negative 38. Yes, negative 38 is what it feels like in Davis, Cumberland, negative 14, Hagerstown, negative 10 by about 5 p.m. tonight when you're checking in with Caitlin. 3 degrees is what it feels like in the district. So 5 o'clock feeling like 3 degrees. That means if you're walking to the metro, if you're walking to the bus, you need to be bundled up. You need to have things to keep your extremities warm, your fingers warm, your ears warm. It is going to be bitterly and bitingly cold, dangerously cold temperatures. And also think about now with these very gusty winds, if you've got things outside, holiday decorations that might be blown over, maybe you've got some patio furniture outside, maybe a heater, I'd make sure that those are tied down or brought inside because it is going to be so cold out that you're not going to want to be outside trying to move those things indoors later on today. Chester?
All right, thanks a lot, Michaela. All good advice there. And here's a quick look at that 7-day forecast. After our morning high of 47, we see falling temperatures, of course, and the weekend is in the 20s to 30s. Bright, but super cold, especially Saturday. Could be our coldest Christmas morning on Sunday morning that we've seen since the 80s. Does get warmer next week with an improvement to the 40s by Wednesday and Thursday. In fact, next Thursday we'll be approaching 50 degrees. Another look at the roads with Michelle Logan.
Chester.
The Commute is sponsored by your local Honda dealers.
We're starting outside with this live look of the Beltway here in Montgomery County, Maryland. This is right near Georgia Avenue. You can see the headlights illuminating, all that water being picked up. So right now the roads are slick, but especially later on today, be careful driving, particularly on bridges and overpasses, which can ice over first. Now, no unusual delays on the Beltway. That's good news. Our heaviest jam in the DMV continues to be this outbound on the 14th Street Bridge between Arlington and the District. We've got a crash. The right lane is taken away, and we have delays back to the 3rd Street Tunnel. No inbound delays, though, over the 14th Street Bridge. We've got flooding on some areas. If you live in a place that usually floods, assume that's going to be the case this morning. In Annandale, Woodburn Road shut down at Spicewood Drive because of flooding. And then traveling south to Stafford County here in the Falmouth area, a couple of closures because of flooding. First, Harrell Road between Deacon Road and Forbes Street. Also, Route 3 Kings Highway is shut down at River Road because of flooding as well. Here are your Maryland travel times on 270 south. Looking good. Frederick to the Spur, just about a half-hour commute right now. Now, one problem we could see on the roads, black ice. It can form just about anywhere on the roads, curbs, drainage areas, or any other path due to melting snow. So if you hit a patch, do not slam on your brakes. Tap them and then turn your wheel in the same direction you're skidding. Al?
Dale, thank you so much for that. And a reminder, we are expecting to see a high number of power outages because of the wind that this storm will bring with it. Community Relations Leader for Dominion Energy, Peggy Fox, is joining us live by phone. Peggy, always good to talk with you. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, and we're busy over here, but I know you all are super busy. What are your biggest concerns with this storm?
We are concerned about the winds. Those high winds could bring down branches, trees, and hit our power lines, and that's when we're going to see some outages. I just heard, 60 miles per hour out west, but even gusts from 15 to 25 and up to 35 to 45 can cause damage here in the metropolitan area. So we are bracing. We've got full loaded crews already in this morning. We are not seeing outages yet because the winds haven't arrived. So we only have 50 outages throughout all of Northern Virginia at this point. But, we're concerned, and we're hoping that people are prepared. It's going to be tough, though, to lose power. I mean, nobody would want to lose power anytime, but it would be especially hard when it's going to be so cold. So we, of course, will work as safely and quickly as possible to get people's power back. The most important thing I want people to know, though, if they're listening and you're a Dominion Energy customer, download our app, the Dominion Energy mobile app, onto your phone and get those phones and computers and every device you have charged up. The best way to report an outage is through that app or dominionenergy.com. It will get the information to us quickly because we may not know if you have an outage. If you have, sometimes a tree can fall down on that line that comes to your house, and it might just be you.
Right.
So you need to call us. It might just be it depends on where the outage is, on where that damage has happened. And every outage is different. I mean, it could be there might be just a branch sort of leaning on the line, and our guys have to go out and knock the branch off. And then we do some switching, and people can get power back very quickly sometimes with our regional operations center, which is located in the Herndon area. And they are watching on computers all the system, and they can switch back and get power back quickly sometimes. Other times we are going to have to go out, send crews to the scene to find the outage, locate it, and that will give us an estimate on how long it's going to take to repair. For example, if there is a pole down, that takes about 8 hours to get a new pole and restring the wires, and we have to put a number of crews on that. And imagine if there's more than one pole down, and then multiply that by the number of projects. Say there's a couple poles down here, maybe in Reston, and then you might have some out down in Leesburg. And every single project takes a number of people. Well, we have a finite number of people. Now, they're all working today. They are all working. But that's just when it starts to add up in terms of time. So please, we're asking people to be patient, let our crews work. We will be working around the clock to get everyone's power back on. We know Christmas is coming. We need our power. We need our ovens and stoves working to make those meals and visit with people. And my gosh, it's going to be so cold that we need our heat. So we're mindful of this. It is top of mind. Everyone's on deck, hands on deck, and we're working. But those are the main points I want to get across to everybody.
Well, and those are excellent points. Download the app and report it if something is going on with you. Charge your all important cell phones and what have you before. Peggy, I know you're a Channel 9 alum, so I know you know about time. Let me tell you, we got about 2 minutes left before we have to let you go. I do want to ask you, with this kind of storm, though, how do you even prepare for high winds? We know what comes with snow and ice, but what do you do for high winds?
Well, our preparation, really, it goes on continuously because we have a whole forestry department that regularly throughout the year are out trimming trees away from lines. That's what they do. So we try to stay ahead of it, but we can't stay ahead of it. We don't, just indiscriminately cut down trees or anything like that. We keep them away from our lines, but you never know when a branch is going to be weakened, a tree is going to be weakened and fall. So, and we do, if you do have a tree like that, on sunny days, when we don't have a major storm like that coming, please let us know. And we don't want anyone else trimming trees around power lines. Those are energized lines, very dangerous. Our people know exactly how to be safe and how to do that because safety is our number one protocol. So that's how we prepare, because we're always preparing. Hey, let me make one other thing. If you got a generator, please follow directions. Never use that generator inside anywhere, not even in your garage. Very, very dangerous.
Absolutely. And in the seconds that we have left, can you give us the app again so we can get in touch with you if we have trouble at our home?
The app is a Dominion Energy app. Just look for it on your mobile device. You can open up your computer now and go to dominionenergy.com, and you can look and see where the outages are. that will give you tracking. We put information in there when we know it, what is causing the outage and how long it's going to be. So you can learn a lot on the website. Charge those devices right now while you've got power, and hopefully we won't have many outages.
Okay, Peggy Fox, thanks for spending some time with us today. You know, we always love talking with you, and be safe, and thank you so much. Peggy Fox from
Love
Dominion.
talking to you. Be safe, everyone.
Energy.
Take
Be
care.
safe.
Bye-bye.
Be safe. All righty. So thank you for watching this special edition on our streaming service. We're going to take a quick break here on WUSA 9 so Chester can give an update on the forecast during CBS mornings. But a lot going on. Make sure you stay with us right here. Also, you got time to download our app, and we're always available for you on the website. We'll be right back.
All right, here's your local weather update. Here we're talking about a weather watch alert across the area, tracking rain and even a little snow on the back edge of this squally cold front that's moving in right now. Temperatures still above freezing in most locations, even in the Shenandoah, where we've seen a few snowflakes mix in. With temps in the 40s, it is rain here in the metro. You're stepping out to that rain. That's a live radar. And let me show you what the Futurecast is doing. It's already shutting down the snow and rain and everything. By the time we get to 9, 10 o'clock, and temperatures will be falling at this time. Out to the west, you are going to be well below freezing in the next hour or two. And in the metro, we'll be below freezing by 10 to 11 o'clock this afternoon, with the precipitation moving off to the east. It'll be a dry sky later this morning. So that brief period of rain showers and a super brief period of snow will give way to gusty winds. We're under a wind advisory today. And dangerously cold temperatures by this afternoon. Look at these teens and 20s by 1, 2 in the afternoon. And by the time we get to 3, 4, 5 towards 6 o'clock, teens, even some single digits and below zero out farther west. Wind chills this evening will be below zero. We're also under a wind chill advisory for this evening, tonight, and through Saturday morning. Incredibly cold through the weekend, but the dry skies do prevail, and we do get warmer heading into next week. We'll have another update on this Arctic blast in about 25 minutes.
Welcome back to WUSA 9 Plus. The deep freeze that we're going to see over the weekend will make it even more tempting to warm up your vehicle before you have to head out. But Brandon Lewis from our National Verified team looks into how this can affect your car's engine.
Nobody enjoys driving in a freezing cold car, so it's understandable that many drivers like to let their cars warm up for a few minutes before hitting the road. Others are concerned about damaging their cars by driving with a cold engine. Some vehicles even have remote start features that make this easier, but one verified viewer reached out to ask if warming their car could actually damage their engine. So, let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Department of Energy, Firestone Complete Auto Care, Smart Motors Toyota in Madison, Wisconsin, and Napa Auto Parts. Gas-powered cars need oil to keep their engines lubricated. When you start a car, an oil pump circulates the oil in less than a minute. If you let your car idle to warm up the cabin, then the oil will slowly drain away from the key components since the engine isn't moving the car. Our sources say this leads to more friction, which causes wear and tear and could eventually shorten the life of your engine. Instead, our sources recommend driving about 30 seconds after starting your car because the engine will warm up faster when the car is being driven. In the past, cars needed to warm up for several minutes to avoid stalling because they used a carburetor. Nearly all cars built in the last 30 years now use electronics to ensure engines get the right combination of air and fuel to run no matter what the temperature is outside. So, yes, warming your car could damage the engine. There is one exception. If you drive an electric vehicle, you may want to warm up your car before unplugging it because heating the cabin uses battery power, which can shorten your range. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Thanks, Brandon. Bracing for the bitter cold. In just a few hours, we're going to see a major drop in temperatures. Our Randy Ayala is live on the weather terrace. Of course, Randy's outside because we're, but it's a good time to be outside right now. With temps, when they get this low, it actually can be really dangerous for people to be outside. And that includes you, Randy. So good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Allison, and the construction workers behind me too. I'm sure you guys hear that. But yeah, really the only concern right now for me is the rain that's picking up. But as our meteorologists have told us and our thermometer confirms, we're still in the 40s, but once we get into the 20s and teens, that's when frostbite and hypothermia can kick in for those who have to spend long periods of time outside. And it's something you definitely want to be aware of as we get later into the day and evening and definitely overnight. So when it comes to frostbite, the first thing you want to watch out for is red or pale skin, but you have to keep in mind those color changes will be harder to spot if you have brown or black skin. How you might feel a prickling feeling, then that's going to turn to numbness, muscle stiffness, and blistering in severe cases. This would occur 24 to 48 hours after you warm back up, but then the skin tissue would turn black and hard. Now, this is according to the Mayo Clinic. Dr. Nicholas Steiner says your fingers, toes, ears, and chin are the most vulnerable to those freezing temps.
You tend to get tingling, and then as it gets worse, it becomes painful. And then as it gets even worse, you lose that sensation of pain. And that's actually a concerning sign, even though it may feel better.
And we also want to talk hypothermia this morning. That happens when your body loses heat faster than it can produce it. So your internal body temperature drops. Of course, we know it's supposed to be 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So 95 and below is when things get dangerous. So some symptoms to watch out for are going to be shivering, exhaustion, confusion, fumbling, memory loss, slurred speech, drowsiness, and then infants and older adults are most at risk. So just keep that in mind. You definitely want to call 911 if you think you see someone experiencing hypothermia. Bottom line here is just stay inside if you can. It's the day you want to bundle up and not do too much. Another tip for you, don't exercise outside today. The combination of wet clothing and these temperatures can make your body temp drop even faster as well, Allison. So just something to keep in mind. I see the construction workers behind me. They're bundled up too this morning.
Yeah, tough to work outside today though, Randy. Thank you so much. And one more note on all of this, DC's warming centers will be open during this extreme cold snap. And we're going to see over the next few days this cold snap. So if you or someone you know needs emergency shelter or even a ride to one of the shelters, just call 202-399-7093. Or this is the easy way, just dial 311. We have a list of warming centers right now on WUSA9.com and the WUSA 9 app. Now let's get back to Chester.
Okay, thank you, Allison. All right, thanks, Allison. Little hiccup there. Let's get to you out the door here. Final look at weather here as we close out our live stream here in the next couple of minutes. Want to show you that we plan on damp weather next couple of hours. We'll mix in occasionally some snow towards 9-10, maybe as late as 11 o'clock. But notice the temperatures will be falling in this time period. It's going to be quite the change from 9 o'clock in the 40s to 20s by noon and 1 o'clock this afternoon. By noon, all the precipitation is shut down. But we may get a flash freeze. Some of the lingering ponding on the roads and puddles and some of the sidewalks that might have some dampness on them, they may freeze over. So make sure you take it easy out there. Walk into the bus or the metro and As you're driving, watch for icy spots. Unfortunately, black ice, while usually confined to nighttime hours, may be an issue during the day here. Gusty winds this afternoon, and then look at the bone-chilling cold later this evening. We're down into the teens. Here's the latest radar imagery. You can see rain rolling in from the west at this early hour. Still another hour or two of showers across Metro Washington here, as temperatures thankfully are above freezing. Out west, we've dropped into the 30s. There may be a few lingering snow showers out west, and you may get a quick coating, but we're not going to see a ton of snow out of this. It is mostly going to be rain here. Here's Metro Washington, light rain, but some heavier bursts of rain. This is the leading edge of that cold front, so there will be some gusty winds with this too. I wouldn't be surprised if winds in Purcellville and Leesburg were already gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour, and up to Frederick and over towards Mount Airy as well. Also watching those showers get in towards Manassas and Nokesville, and farther south down towards Triangle and down to the Quantico base area. So again, showers continue to roll east. By 9 o'clock, it's moving east. Temperatures still in the 40s, but that's it. We're going to fall after that. Look at this snow populating the radar here just a little bit on our futurecast. So we may get a few snow showers or a quick burst or a quick dusting here, especially looks like from the Beltway points north. So watch out upper Montgomery County, Frederick, Washington County still dealing with a little bit of light snow, perhaps Jefferson, Berkeley counties there in West Virginia, maybe even into the Berryville area. You may get a quick burst of light snow 7, 8, 9 o'clock this morning. Everyone else should stay rain. Not going to see any snow at all down towards La Plata or Fredericksburg, other than a few flakes may fly from time to time. Here's 10 o'clock, still some light rain, light snow just departing the metro at this time, and temperatures continue to crash. By the time we get to 11, it's all done. Precipitation's done. If you don't have snow on your grassy surfaces by then, you ain't getting nothing. It's not going to snow the rest of this day. It is going to be super cold, though. We're talking about temperatures falling into the teens and 20s this afternoon, below zero out west towards the Allegheny Mountains. By this evening, we're down into the teens, and wind chills will be dangerously cold. Winds will gust all day long, 40 to 50 miles per hour, especially with that cold front. Farther west, winds may gust 50 to 60 miles per hour. Hagerstown points west. High-profile vehicles, be aware of this. Driving out west, some blowing snow will be possible in and around Garrett County and western Allegheny County, and out towards the Mineral County area as well. For the metro and most of the DMV, gusts 40 to 50, especially from late morning through this evening. That'll produce wind chills below zero by later this evening. A wind chill advisory goes into effect in most areas for this afternoon and tonight through tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. These are wind chill warnings because the wind chills out there will be minus 20, minus 30 degrees out in the blue shaded areas. Everyone else could see wind chills as cold as minus 10 to minus 15 overnight tonight into tomorrow. Super cold for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Could be our coldest Christmas since the 1980s, but then a warm up. The temperatures reverse very quickly. By the end of the 7-day period, we're back into the 40s to nearly 50 degrees. We're going to be updating all day long on WUSA9.com and of course our app. You can catch us online and give us a follow on all the socials. Michelle?
Tester, let's get a final check of our roads now. Here's a live look outside in Alexandria. We're taking a look at the Beltway. This is right near Telegraph Road. You can see the roads are wet. So with that drop in temperatures later, that's where things can get dangerous. Be extra careful if you do have to drive over bridges, ramps, or overpasses, if they could potentially be icy. Now getting to our road, since we last checked in, we have a new crash and jam on northbound GW Parkway here in Arlington. The wreck is just past Route 29. The right lane is blocked and it is involving an overturned vehicle, so it could take a while to clear. No southbound delays in the area. Plus, outbound traffic on the 14th Street Bridge between the district and Arlington still moving slow. We have that truck crash that happened hours ago. The right lane remains blocked with those delays still going back to the 3rd Street tunnel. All right, we've got some areas with flooding right now headed out to Loudoun County in Leesburg. River Creek Parkway shut down between Belleville Drive and Teaberry Drive. Earlier this morning, there was some snow there, but now flooding is reported and the road is still closed both ways. Let's go now south to Stafford County here in the Falmouth area. Harrell Road shut down between Deacon Road and Forbes Street. Also, Kings Highway is closed at River Road there, so avoid those areas. Now traveling to Howard County, Maryland, south of Clarksville, Route 108. There was some downed wires just past Hallshop Road. Now the road is closed. And then north here in Howard County, Woodbine Road, Route 94, is closed between I-70 and Gillis Falls Road. Wires came down there as well, right near Newport Road. All right, here's a final check of your Maryland drive time. Southbound BW Parkway, 198 to the Beltway right now, an 11-minute trip. But if you do have to head out today on the roads, drive very carefully, Al. And also wishing everyone happy holidays.
Absolutely, Michelle. Same to you. Thank you all for joining us. Our extended coverage because of this winter storm doesn't end here. You can get the forecast anytime on our free WUSA 9 and WUSA 9 Plus apps. Have a great rest of your day. Happy holidays, and please stay safe.